Welcome to the Horror Friendly Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Horror Friendly Podcast, part of the You Run Podcast Network. I am Katie, and I am joined, as always, by my gorgeous, wonderful, angelic co-host, Chantelle.
Anyone's ever called me angelic? Thank you very much.
It's probably the last time I will.
Probably, yeah. We all know it's a lie. How
It's
you
a
doing?
lie. I'm good. I think this is the first time we've spoken to each other in a couple of days.
We would just say that. It's like we go for like literally talking to each other every day, and then we've both been so busy that we're like ignoring each other, and we're like, we're still recording, right?
Yeah, still recording, still friends, still besties.
Still friends. We just have to send a heart every now and then. Like, I'm still thinking of you. I'm just so busy. What is happening with life right now? Like, Jesus.
I know. There's a lot going on. But
It's all good though. That's why we started a podcast, purely so we can talk.
Exactly.
For no other reason.
No other reason. We don't give a shit about horror. We actually hate it. Actually scares us like all the time.
We actually really hate films.
Yeah.
Like, outside of this, we don't even own TVs. Like,
yeah. No idea. What's Netflix?
What's Netflix? What's that? What's Prime? What's IMDb? But we will anyway. In our hate of films, we are now going to be covering another film because that is what we agreed to do.
Absolutely.
So we have decided to do the horror comedy, the 2019 Ready or Not. So after the wedding ceremony of a young woman, her new in-laws force her to participate in a seemingly innocent game. Things soon turn bloody and sinister, revealing the sick rituals of the family. Katie, I believe this wasn't your first time watching, but I could be wrong.
No, I went to see it in the cinema when it came out. The only thing is that I saw the trailer for it and it really made me want to see it, but it gave quite a lot away in the trailer. There was a lot in there. Yeah. So that was a bit of a shame. So when you went to see it, there was quite a lot that was kind of already there that you knew was going to happen. But yeah, so I saw it in cinema and I've watched it a couple of times since then. But what about you? Was this your first time watching it?
It actually was, which is so funny because I kept seeing it and being like that, like, yeah, that looks good. But I don't think I saw the trailer because I knew nothing. But I kept seeing the poster and I was quite intrigued. And I'd heard good things, so I was like, yeah, fuck it. I was also kind of like, she's in a wedding dress. You know, how have they made a horror film out of a wedding? And don't get me wrong, like I'm sure there's other creative ways to do it, but I was just kind of curious because I haven't really seen it before. Yeah. So I was really curious, and it was so funny how, again, like, had I seen the trailer, maybe, but I just did not connect when they were like, oh, there's going to be a game. I didn't connect what Ready or Not was, like, why that was the title.
Yeah, I don't know why it wasn't called Hide and Seek.
No, I think Ready or Not works because it's like,
really?
It's what you say, isn't it? It's like you count and then you're like, ready or not, here I come.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, that's true.
But I also liked that they tied it in at the beginning when he was like, are you ready? She was like, not at all.
Are you ready for this?
Oh, fuck no.
So I liked that they made it like about the wedding as well. And then also for the hide and seek. But yeah. Maybe there's already a film called Hide and Seek, but I liked the title. It just made me laugh that I just had no idea. I think I kept thinking they're going to play a board game. So I was like, what board game is like, could turn sinister? So when they said Hide and Seek, I was like, oh, I get it.
Yeah. I do like that, like, it kind of just goes for it straight off the bat. Like, you have a little bit at the beginning, you kind of get to see what the family are like, and it kind of sets a precedent for what they're like. Yeah. But it doesn't fuck about. Like, it's a nice length film. Like, it does get into it very quickly, which is what I like with this kind of film, because it's such a stupid, like, silly film. Like, it's great, but it's silly. Like, you do just want to get into it. You don't need to wait around for stuff.
Yeah, no, definitely. Would you, if it was your wedding night and like you had everyone together and they were like, we're going to play a game of hide and seek? Am I the only one who thinks that sounds like fun?
Well, yeah, and she was kind of embracing it.
She was, but not
at the time.
And again, like, we don't actually know how long she was in the lazy, what do they call it?
Oh, the
lazy waiter.
Yeah.
I sat in a dumbwaiter.
But it felt like she gave up after like 5-10 minutes. Yeah. And I was like, I'd have been in there like 2 hours, like, I'm committed. So that I was like, did she just give up quite quick, or was I again? Did they just not make it seem that long?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because the other game
Yeah.
is Sardines, which we used to play when I worked away a lot. For those that don't know, it's like hide and seek, but in reverse. So one person hides, and then if you find them, you join them, and then you end up with like 20 people trying to stuff under a bed. So again, that sort of bullshit on a wedding night with all your family and friends, I think sounds fun.
The thing is, it does, but bearing in mind, she's not with any of her friends. She's
That's
not with any of her family. And she's with these rich, random people that she's met today.
And she's trying to make a good impression.
Yeah.
And they're like, go and hide.
All she wants to do is go and bang her husband.
Yeah.
But she has to do this. So in this situation, I don't like think I would be embracing it. I would be like, okay, I've got to do what I've got to do.
Yeah.
This and also like the way the husband, completely blanked on his name. Sorry, Alex. The way he was kind of like, look, I know my family are like this. Like they both seemed very likable and very kind of relatable. Like, look, I'm sorry, but you've got to do this. Like it was very much kind of like you kind of empathize with her, where you were just kind of like, she's not drunk, she's not doing this with her friends. She kind of has to be sat here with these like rich in-laws.
I think it's really hard as well because he's like, it's tradition. And as you say, like, it's very new. They're rich, which always seems to be like they play by their own rules. She also said didn't have a family. Like she grew up in the foster system. So she doesn't know when they're like, oh, it's family tradition. She doesn't know like this is a weird tradition. But also it's not that much to ask.
No.
Like if your partner was like, oh, sorry, it's our family tradition, but we're just going to play a game.
Yeah.
Like at midnight. Like you can suck that up because you're like, that's not a big ask. Obviously, she doesn't realize quite the extent of it. So you do, like you say, like when she looks in the mirror, like you do see that she's like, I just want to be with my husband, but I'll get through it. Like it's one game.
Yeah.
So
yes.
I've got questions though, because like the girl that pulled chess, did she have to play everyone at chess or just one person? Like how does it work?
Yeah, I know with the other ones, like I don't know what the others had to do. Like exactly. The guy that I really fucking liked was Fitch.
Yeah. You could do it, Fitch.
Yeah.
And
him. Like, yeah, and I can't remember what he said he had to play, but he was like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, he said it like could not have told you what it was like. Old
man or something?
Old mate?
Old boy?
Something. It was weird.
Something. We'll clip it here.
Yeah, we'll add it in.
God, old maid. Seriously, what the fuck is old maid? Fitch.
Just give Tell more work to do.
But I've got no idea. I'd never heard of that game.
And I love also how like he's played it, but he still doesn't know what it is.
No. So somehow he played that game. But he also, I love as well, they gave him a weapon. He was like, how do I use this? And it's like YouTubing it in the back room. And I was like, I love this guy. Like,
so I mean, like weirdly, because this plot is mental, but weirdly, a lot of the characters are very relatable. It's very much like, what the fuck am I doing here?
I think that was it. A lot of them were like, even the mother-in-law, Becky, played by Andy McDowell. Like even she was like trying to bond with her daughter-in-law and be really friendly and all that. And then even when she was like struggling, it was like you could see she was trying to like save her family, but you're still like, but this is still cruel. Like you could see how they were making these stupid decisions. Even Charity, I think, was played really well. And she was well up for killing
really well.
Grace. But I think she was played really well of like, you knew how I grew up.
Yes.
I'm not going back to that. And I was like, they've all got their reasons.
You know where I came from and what my life was like before. I'd rather be dead than lose all of this.
Definitely. And it was also interesting how like Daniel married Charity and they clearly like don't like each other. They clearly just are with each other for convenience. So you can see why he brought her into the family. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because but he even calls her like a gold digger at the beginning.
Yeah, like Emily and Fitch, like they seem fine, but like they're not like they don't seem like a solid foundation kind of couple. So again, she sort of maybe took him as like an easy way, like in case this game gets picked. It's almost like they pick their partners because of this curse.
It is like that. It's like, oh, I'll pick them. It doesn't matter if they die.
Yeah,
and then they get stuck with them, and they're like, cool.
Yeah.
But
Whereas
I guess
Alex actually like loves it, seemingly in most of the film, loves Grace. So they have a very different relationship to kind of everyone else.
Which I think is probably why it was her, because it's more of a sacrifice to give up the person you love than the person you've conveniently married.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it's fucked. But yeah.
I also like, so when Alex at the beginning, he's like, I'm not going to tell her. Like, it's like, there's no, like, the chances are really low. And then I was like, well, the grandma had to do it to her husband. And then the mother-in-law is like, it's only happened once since I've married into the family. And now it's happening to Grace and Alex. So I was like, well, hang on, that's once a generation then. Which means the odds are actually quite high. Because if they've only got 3 kids, and I think like cousins and stuff are involved as well. But I was like, you've probably got like, I don't know, say 10 people a generation. I was like, so your odds are like 1 in 10, if not less. So actually, those aren't great odds.
No, I know. I think she was the aunt, that older woman.
Right,
Helene.
sorry, aunt, not
Yeah,
grandma.
but still, like, yeah.
I loved her.
Yeah, I loved her too. You could just tell, like, she'd been through a lot, of course, but like, she just didn't give a fuck anymore. Like, even at the end, she just still wanted to kill Grace.
The girl still dies!
It was literally that where she was like, I gave up the man I loved. It was the right thing to do. So she was just, no, this is what you have to do.
Yeah, she just
Decision
saw.
made.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, no, sorry. So yeah, going back to Alex, it was very much like, yeah, well, I'll take a chance. But that's so fucking selfish. Like when she finds out and he explains to her, the bit that really made me laugh was when he was like, you wanted to get married.
Warn me.
You wanted to get married.
So it's my
No, I'm
fucking
sorry.
fault.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh, it's her fault.
Yeah, I know.
It's her fault your family have this weird fucking tradition
Yeah,
where
I
they
know.
murder someone for Satan.
But
It
it's
wasn't
when he-
Satan. What was his name?
Oh, it was Le Bail?
Yeah, that's
Le Bail? Le Bail?
Labille.
Yeah, that was the demon thing.
Yeah.
But it was what was it? Yeah, so when Alex says, you would have left if I told you. Like that's so selfish. Like fucking yeah, maybe. Like let that be my decision.
Exactly. Or like, okay, well, we just don't have to get married.
Yeah,
And
I know.
again, but it's so much that way. So you wanted this, rah, rah. And it's like, you've been together a year and a half, and she's got so many, like, we could have eloped. And the thing is, for him, this is so real as well. I don't mean we find out it is real, but where it's like people got married and didn't play the game and then died. So he's like scared she's going to die one way or another.
Yeah.
But I actually was really shocked when he turned at the end. And I was like, you've just immediately gone from to incel. Like he went from like a nice guy who we thought was great and going to try and help her escape. And then as soon as she was like, I mean, she did beat the crap out of his mum, but the mum had been after her all night. And as soon as she like was like, no, and he was like, oh, you won't be with me. He handed her in. And I was like, cool, incel behavior. If she won't be with me, then kill her.
Yeah, she's useless.
Absolute piece of shit.
Yeah.
And then he tries to beg her again at the end for his own life. And I was like, oh, let him die.
Yeah. It's also just like, fuck that. Okay, fine. Like witnessing your mum in that state is obviously going to be just like traumatic. But like she is completely blameless here. Like she didn't ask for this. She didn't know this is what she was getting into. She literally just fucking owned this entire film. Like she did what we all would try and do in that situation. And the fact that like he goes, I mean, I understand that his brain is probably so wired that he's like his family first.
Yeah.
But like, and to be fair, Alex was a man on the edge the entire film. Like you never, like you do kind of get convinced that he is going to be a good guy, but then there are some things where I'm like, he's tilting over the edge a little bit.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, you think he's gonna be a good guy, and then it's like, well, actually, you have to choose between you or her, and immediately he was gonna just pick himself.
Yeah, or his family.
But
yeah,
he was included in the family.
Yeah.
So it was like,
and there was obviously a part of him that felt like I still kind of, I do like, I want to be part of this tradition. I want to be part of this.
Well, again, he's from the family's rich, so it's like a safe family to be a part of, as opposed to like running away with his wife, who's probably going to die, and then he's disowned.
Yeah.
Like, although I find it really funny when Tony, the dad, was like, "She's taking us out one by one, this tiny stick of a woman." I'm like, no, your niece, I think it was his niece, was the one who kept accidentally killing everyone.
Domas, Mr. Domas, I just saw her run.
Oh my God! Oh!
Why does this always happen to me?
Okay, calm down.
I was like, Grace only killed like 2 people? No, well, yeah. I was like, it wasn't actually her doing most of the killing. It was their own family killing everyone. I think it was all the help they kept killing.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it was a couple of there was the butler. I'm pretty sure he died.
Yeah, he died in the car towards the end. That was Grace.
Yeah.
But the 3, because that annoyed me, the first 3 deaths were all women.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, for fuck's sake. Like,
I know.
There was the one who got like shot in the eye. That was, I thought that was a family member, but I think it was
No, I think it was like a waitress, or
something. Then you had the one who was then shot in the mouth by the same girl. She was so useless. I loved her.
Emily. Emily Domas. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So she fucking loves Coke.
Yeah, because I thought there was another one, Clara. Maybe I kept losing track of who they all were. There was so many.
Clara was one of the waitresses. And Emily was the daughter. So so like Alex's sister.
And then you had the one who got killed in the dumbwaiter.
Oh yeah.
So again, I was like, the first 3 deaths were all women, and then like the butler got hurt, but he only got scarred, and then he died later. But I was just like, of course, this is how.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, I didn't actually pick up on that, but that's a good point. Like all 3 of them, but I guess also it's a woman that's killing them, so I guess that's
well, accidentally, but yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't make it better, Katie.
Doesn't make it better. No, it was just typical, because I was like, why is it the guy's only been scarred? But again, then they killed some guys later, so I was like, okay, we're evening out. It's such a weird thing to pick up on and just be like, kill more men.
Oh, well, you're a woman and you notice these things. Like it's valid.
Someone's gonna take me saying that out of context.
Oh well, whatever. It's our podcast.
It's our podcast. Yeah.
So I don't know if this is like skipping it a bit too forward. But when it's revealed at the end, I so didn't see it coming. I thought it was just going to be like, because I thought it was actually kind of funny that it isn't true. That
would have been so funny.
Yeah, it's kind of like, because I mean, I don't know about you, but throughout the whole film, I was like, this obviously isn't true. Like, they're just this crazy rich family that are just under this cult, and they're going to find out in a minute when Grace is there holding the knife that like fucking nothing's happened. But it was like a double bluff for me that when one of them exploded, I was like, what the fuck?
It would have been hilarious if they'd done all of this and actually, yeah, it was fake. But I think because they kept saying like, oh, your cousin when she got married, and like they had stories of people who kept dying like the next day. So I was like, okay, well, they obviously really believe it's true. So is it like, and that was the thing, we didn't have any proof or anything. And then it was like, oh, well, they died in a house fire. That's what the media wanted you to think. So I was like, okay, well, something's happening to this family, but is it just bad timing? Is it just bad luck? And it was when nothing happened. But then when she exploded, I was so convinced that like somehow Daniel was alive and he just shot her with a shotgun.
Right.
Because I was like, who just explodes with no reason? So I assumed it was like a close range hit.
Yeah.
So then when the next one went, I was like, what is happening? And then the woman and her 2 kids in the hallway. Like, kind of glad that one was on screen just because it was funnier. Because it was like so bang, funny. Bang, bang. And I was like, but I just couldn't figure out how they were just exploding. And at that point, I was like, so this shit is real? Like, yeah. And it does kind of, like you say, like the double bluff. But even until the second explosion, I was like, somebody's shooting them. Like someone's making
That's
them
fair.
explode. Which
Well,
was wrong.
No, well, I mean, I've said this multiple times on the podcast, but I fucking love a film that doesn't give a shit. And I just love at the end, the writers were just like, you know what, fuck it, we're gonna make it true.
It just it didn't feel like it lined up with the rest of the film. Like,
do you not think?
I mean, it didn't. It just felt very over the top. And the rest of the film, although it was a horror comedy, hadn't been ridiculous.
Yeah, okay.
Like there've been a couple of like satire bits, but and then all of a sudden they're all just exploding, and I was like, didn't see it coming. I loved it, but I was like, does that go with the film? But as you say, I kind of love that they just went, fuck it, balls to the wall, let's make them explode.
Yeah, I know what you mean, because apparently the writers their original ending was going to be that Grace died, and it was going to be a lot more bleak. And then I think they either did like a test out on a small audience, or they just kind of went back to the writing room and they were like, you know what, fuck it, we're just going to kill off all the rich people.
So in this case, does that mean that Grace now inherits all their family fortune?
Well,
and the guy, again, I've forgotten his name, Satan, I know it was a different name, but he nodded to her at the end.
Yeah.
So he like approves of her. And I love that every time like something like that happened, her reaction was just like, oh my God.
Fuck.
Or like when she saw herself in the wedding dress and the shoes and the gun, she looks incredible.
Yeah,
she saw herself in the mirror and was just like, oh my God, like this is my wedding night. Yeah, so funny,
so good.
Jesus.
Yeah, I don't know, because obviously, as I was saying to you the other day, there is a sequel that's coming out to this.
Called Ready or Not, Here I Come, which again is genius. Sorry, were you going to say that?
That's okay. No, I wasn't. So
only because I was like, hence I love the name. I was like, yeah,
no, I wasn't. No, but like I was wondering that, like when it finished, I was like, what the fuck happens to her? Like, is she going to be done for murder? Because there's no bodies, but there's loads of blood. So
where did you hide the bodies? Like, how do you explain that?
Yeah, like what does she do from this point on?
I guess they're just gonna have to be like, they burn in the fire. I guess that's why there's a fire, is to cover it up. But good point. I really don't know what the second film story is going to be. Like, is she going to find another guy, marry in, and be like, but no games, and it's all going to happen again? Is she the one making the deal?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good point, actually. I didn't actually pick up the fire. That makes sense. So that's going to give her an alibi,
which would still normally leave some stuff behind.
Yeah.
But I do find it funny as well that like she kept trying to like get help, and no one would come. The people drove past her. The police were like, no, we can't. The car's been reported like stolen. We can't send the police. Yeah. But the fucking fireman got there in like 3 seconds. I was like,
yeah. Oh, she was having that conversation with Justin in the car. She's like,
Justin, just call the fucking police.
Justin, call the police. It's not. I love when you say, oh, the computer's not working. It's like, just what do you mean computer? Call the fucking police. But I love. Then the only bit as well that really annoyed me was they obviously then shut the car down. So when the other guy got back in it, did he have to like give a pin and be like, oh yeah, I'm the owner?
Oh, probably.
It was a mistake, because he then drove away. So I was like, well, how did you get the car working?
Yeah.
Did he sweet talk Justin?
Yeah. Justin just needed to be flirted with, and he'd be all right.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. But yeah, so what are your thoughts on a sequel? How do you think it will? Are you excited for it?
I'm excited for it. I just don't know how it's going to go.
Yeah.
Because surely, having survived that, you wouldn't then want to put anyone else through it. So I just can't see what the story is going to be.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm not a writer.
Yeah. Well, I have no idea. But I feel very similar to how I feel about Black Phone. I feel like it was quite like I really enjoyed this film. I think it's a very powerful kind of just standalone horror comedy.
Yeah.
And I feel like it needs to kind of be left alone. Like I've said to you before, Tell, like I think a film like Megan could do with so many fucking sequels, because I get it. Like people want more of it, it's money, whatever. But like this and Black Phone, I feel like aren't really kind of franchisey films.
Yeah.
They're just good, powerful, strong standalone films. So when I found out about the sequel, I wasn't like massively excited for it. Again, like we said with all of these, we'll be seated.
Yeah.
But I feel like, is there a place for this kind of, I don't know. I mean, watch me, eat my words and really enjoy it when me and you go to see it. But I don't know. I'm just not that stoked for it.
The only thing I can kind of see happening is like, because obviously they kept referencing all these other family members who weren't at the wedding. So I can only assume that they're going to find out that someone beat the curse. So they're going to then come after her and try and kill her. But again, be that actually, maybe it is, maybe one of them tries to seduce her and be like, come marry me, and actually tries to do it again.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, but that's the only thing I can assume is it's going to be other family members try and track her down. But it has got a very good cast. I've just pulled it up. So we've got Samara Weaving is obviously back as Grace. And then you've got Sarah Michelle Gellar, Catherine Newton, Elijah Wood, David Cronenberg. Like,
okay,
it's got a good cast. So I'm a little bit more intrigued now, more based on just who's in it.
Yeah, that's interesting because Elijah Wood as well, like he makes good horror movie choices.
Yeah.
So I feel like, and also Samara Weaving, she's been in several horror films, which I really loved. So I feel like she wouldn't have gone on to the next project, had she not had faith in it. So yeah, the cast, it's like when you see one of your favorite actors in a film, you're like, yeah, this is going to be good.
This could be good. It does make a difference.
It does.
And I'm also just looking up the writers. We've got R. Christopher Murphy, who did write the first one, but they also wrote the 2003 Wrong Turn and Minute Past Midnight 2016. I don't actually think I've seen that one. And then Guy Busick, who wrote obviously the first one as well, but then Scream, the 2022 one, and Abigail. So actually, interesting, like good writers. They've got a good history. So we shall see.
We shall see. I mean, me and you have been skeptical about a couple of these sequels, but I'm really interested to see what they're like. I just think when like something like Black Phone or this has such a unique idea and it's so good as just a film on its own, and the story's been told and there's a beginning, middle, and an end, like you don't really need anything more from it. But who knows? I'll be eating my words if it's amazing. So
it will be interesting because, again, obviously she survived once. So now we're expecting her to be the final girl. So it will be interesting if they go back to the original ending and try to kill her off. But it's really weird. Yeah, I just don't know how it's going to go.
No, I don't know. Because I thought something like this would have worked better as a sequel. Like, kind of, maybe The Aunt. Sorry, a sequel?
A prequel. I know, it's like, how?
I was like, I saw your face. I was like, I fucked up. What have I said that's wrong?
So we just said we didn't want that.
A prequel, yeah. So like maybe The Aunt or something. But then we saw a bit of that at the beginning. Like, do we need to see any more?
Exactly. We know how it ends.
Yeah.
It's not as exciting when the husband's trying to run away, but we know it ends very quickly.
Yeah, true.
So, no, it's an interesting one. Yeah, I did like how they kept using heads or tails, like flipping the coin to drag the bodies. I just thought, being that they were a games family, that was a really funny touch.
That was.
Can you imagine actually your wedding night and they're like, right, all of this story. Him telling that story actually went on for ages. I was like, we get it. There's give us the card. Can you imagine just pulling out like heads or tails, or rock paper scissors?
Yeah, I'd be stoked. It'd be like fucking over.
Great. Can I go back to bed? Yeah, wonderful. Yeah. Love it.
Amazing. I did see as well, I really liked the detail of all the other board games. I think it was in the opening credits when you could see all the other board games, but when you actually zoom in and have a look, like it's so realistic, like all these board games over the years, and how like Le Domas family like have been making all these board games for so many years. I thought that was a really nice little touch, and I thought the film, like the cinematography, looked really nice. Like the lighting was really nice, and it was very moody, and it was a very like old house, with all these kind of old. So it was very like it went very well with the whole like board game antique like aesthetic. It was really nicely looking. I think
it's like that, like old big money is always seems to come with like antiques. I think I read somewhere that in one of the rooms in that house they were filming in, they actually couldn't move anything. Like they weren't allowed to light any of the candles, or like the room is preserved So
Oh,
they had to
wow.
be like really careful when filming in there. And I was like, just don't film in there. Pick a different room. Like you could tell as well. I'd be like so stressed as the director. I was like, pick a different room. Like
Apparently that the mansion or the house that was, but it was Happy Gilmore was also filmed there.
it's just this massive house that everyone just keeps using. That's so funny.
I know, so good.
Yeah, and when you were saying about like all the games and everything as well, slightly less about the games, but again, our favorite again, I forgot his name, the slightly idiotic one, Fitch. When he was sat there like texting his mate, I love that he was like looking up like family curses and then immediately got distracted by a text. And I was like, that's very me. But when it was like, what are you up to? And he was like, oh, family stuff. I was like, you missed perfect opportunity for family game night.
Yeah.
Come on. I couldn't believe they missed it. I was like,
the thing is, I think that works better because he's so stupid. He's just like, yeah, family shit.
Everyone's expecting him to write family game night and it's family shit. And you're like, no.
Yeah.
No.
Classic Fitch.
Classic Fitch, ruining the line. Although another line I actually wrote down because it confused me was the mother-in-law again, whose name I forgot, and I keep thinking Andy McDowell, but no, Becky. So at one point she's saying to Grace, like right before she beats the crap out of her, I thought you were going to be the next me. And I'm like, but the second she pulled that card, you knew she'd be dead by morning.
Yeah, exactly.
So what do you mean she was going to be the next you? Dead? Like weird. Like it was a weird thing to say.
It was like she just didn't want her to pull that card. So had she not pulled the card, she thought like, oh,
fine, but don't tell me that when you're beating me up.
Exactly. Fuck off, mate.
Like,
I don't want to be like part of your fucking family.
But again, like, because could you ever imagine Grace being on the other side?
No, exactly. Like, what the fuck was Alex thinking, man? Like, well, she wouldn't partake in this. No. Like, if when the little boys are going to get married, like that wouldn't fucking happen. No. Like, what did he think was going to happen?
I think. Well, this was it because Daniel even said it to Charity at one point where she's like, oh, she won't fit with the family. And Daniel's like, yeah, because she has a soul.
But she'll never be one of us.
Of course not, dear. She has a soul.
Yeah. And I think that's it, is like once they're married in, does she then have to sell her soul? Like you're asking a lot of this, like marriage. Like, and he's told her none of this before going into it.
None of it.
She'd have left. Yeah, because you want her soul.
Yeah, like valid, mate. Like, unfortunately, she should have a choice in that.
Yeah.
One thing just reminding me when I was talking about the two little boys was when Grace punches one of them around the face because he was about to shout and be a little shit, which was great. But then she falls into that pit.
Yeah.
And that's where it kind of, to me, like takes a bit of a turn. It's like, shit, they're all the dead bodies. These are all like... It's gross. And then when she's climbing out, and it's like one of the most gruesome bits of the film, because we haven't actually mentioned, but this film's pretty gory, which I really appreciate it for.
It's quite gory. I really liked that when she was trying to slip through the fence and she got cut, like that looked really good. Yeah. The hand bit was fun. I actually saw it because I was like, somewhere was like, was it almost too obvious it was CGI? But the way she acted it, they were like, no, it's convincing enough. Because like she fucking threw her heart and soul into that bit.
She did. I feel like with the entire film Samara Weaving did, like she's got an incredible horror scream. So like she's really able. I also loved how her dress like slowly, like progressively got worse and worse. Like even when she was hiding and didn't know, like it ripped a little bit.
Yeah.
And then from like that to what you see at the end, like it just progressively gets like worse and worse.
I so thought when she ripped off that bit, like in the hallway, oh, I love that. Actually, when like Alex is like, oh, go straight there, and then didn't tell her which door to go through. It's like, where is she? She just walks in. It's like, but I so thought her leaving her dress behind was how they were going to track her.
Ah, okay.
And obviously that does come up a bit later where it got ripped on the fence. But there's another bit where like she was being sacrificed, and I thought you could see her bra. Because I was like, why is there a big dark patch? But then I read a thing about it and it was like, no, it's like a heart-shaped blood stain because that's where her heart was. And it was like all metaphorical. But I was like, I generally was just like, has something ripped under her dress? And suddenly she's just like on display. But no, I was like, okay, that actually makes a lot more sense and is a bit cooler.
Yeah, that is cool. I hadn't noticed that. I'll have to go back and watch that. But yeah.
Yeah. No, I thought it was good. I liked how her
Mm.
dress like just deteriorated.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, like the hand bit for me, like, yeah, that's right. Like, I guess when you're looking at it too, like when you're looking at it quite closely, it's like, does it look good? But I think, yeah, with her reaction, and I just think like with the tone of the film, I think it worked quite well.
Yeah.
And just, yeah, her sticking through it, like that was just fucking savage.
It was like that bit in A Quiet Place where like we can see it, we know what's about to happen, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. You know what's coming. I kind of love it. Like, I'm sure she ended up using that hand at one point, but she was just obviously the rest of the film like holding her hand up as a hand hurt, a shoulder hurt, and just like,
Yeah. When I first watched this film, I thought she knew it was there, but she was kept slipping. So she used it as like something to hold it in place. But I don't think that's true. I think I don't think she could see it. But at first I was like, is she being clever? And was like, well, I have to fucking
just
have something grip. Like,
I'd rather a tetanus shot than
yeah.
death. Like,
Yeah.
fuck. Yeah, I would have double watched that and see if she did know. I don't think she did, but I could be wrong.
No.
That's so interesting.
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 Yeah, I mean, the only other thing was that I really fucking love the character of Grace. Like, I'm looking forward to seeing her like back on screen again. I think Samara Weaving is great, and like we were saying earlier, I feel like she really did just put everything into this role. So I thought she was really, really great and very likable. You were rooting for her the whole time. Like, she was very brave,
Yeah.
but she also wasn't kind of like this superhero. Like, she was making mistakes, but again, it was very relatable. It's like what we would all do.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I liked her as a character a lot.
No, she was good. There was a little touch I really liked as well, actually, was, and I've forgotten the name. I think it was Emily at the beginning when she was given like a gun and then she just didn't know how to use it. But when you look at the shape of that gun, it's the same one from like Monopoly. No, not Monopoly, Cluedo. And I was like, that's actually such a cool touch. Like,
That's
just something
great.
really stupid. But I was like, that's great.
That's
not
so
stupid
good.
because it's good. Oh, somebody else pointed out as well that actually there's an old tradition about the groom not being allowed to see the bride before the wedding because it's bad luck. And obviously this happens at the beginning of the film. So they're like, well, is that why she pulled the card? Because the groom had seen her first.
Maybe.
They seal their own fate.
Yes, that's very true. Yeah, because it was very much like they don't give a shit. Like, it's just, those two are just getting married, like whatever. But yeah, true.
But again, he knew.
He knew. He fucking knew. He knew. He knew. Fuck Alex, man.
Fuck Alex. He sucks.
He sucks so much. Fuck that guy.
Well, what was your favorite spooky moment out of this film?
It's just
and spookies out of 5.
I would say spooky moment. It's a toss between the hand through the nail, or to be fair, when she looks at herself and she looks amazing with like the dress and everything. But I guess if we're going spooky, then I'll go more gory, which is the hand. So I thought that was really good. Her scream was really good. And spookies, I'm gonna give this 4 out of 5 spookies. I thought it was great. Like, it's just a solid film. Like, I'll watch it all the time. It's a very much kind of like I think you could have it as a pizza party film. It's really fun. And yeah, I'm just a big fan of it. I think it's really well written. It's very funny, very gory, and just, yeah, a cool idea. But yeah, what about you?
I don't know, actually. I was trying to think. Yeah, because again, I really like the bit where she looks at herself, but I'm going to think slightly gorier. Maybe the bit like she's been captured in the car and she's kind of like hallucinating. She thinks she's with Alex, but then she just starts beating the crap out of the butler. She's like, and the family are there like trying to warn him. And I kind of like that because I think it's just, again, she was such a great character, but it was that I'm not giving up. I'm going to keep fighting. Like, even when she was being sacrificed, like she did not stop fighting. And I think that's it. Like, if you're going to go out in a horrific way, you go out fighting to the very end. And I think that was awesome. So I'm going to go with that bit. And I think, again, similar to you, I think you can throw this on kind of anytime, anywhere. It's just a really fun, easy watch. So I think I'm going to give it 4.5, I think.
Excellent.
Yeah, I really liked this one.
Nice. And the final question. Would you survive Ready or Not if you got the cards?
It's a really hard one. Because I know me, and like I said, I probably would have stayed in the dumb waiter for fucking ages. So they probably would have just found me. They probably would have cut the fucking whatever's holding the dumb waiter up and just dropped me to death. I don't know, because I feel like if I knew they were trying to kill me, I'd put up a damn good fight. Like I'd want to think,
yeah,
I would fight like Grace did, and I would give it my everything. But I really just think if I was like, oh, I'm just trying to have a bit of fun, I'd be like, if they were like, you're playing hide and seek on your wedding night, I've already been like, does that not sound like fun? So I'd already be like, why don't you guys hide? I'll find you. And like, I'd have been an idiot. I think I'm a kid at heart, and I'd have tried to play the game.
Yeah. I like a couple of board games, but I'm not that into them. So I think with this, I'd just be like, oh fuck it hell, like I'll just pick a really shit hiding space so they can just find me quicker to like get this over with.
But like, hide and seek is not a board game, which is why, like, that's if I pulled a board game, I'd probably be a bit gutted because I'm not that into board games. But I love like a physical game.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm into those. So I think I just I mean, they're fine. But like, I think I'd just be like, oh, I'll just find somewhere easy and then it'll be done. We can have a drink and celebrate.
Yeah.
I think that I would accidentally kill myself by like hiding in a really obvious place.
I think we're just too trusting. We don't know we're in a horror film.
Yeah, no.
And we just, because that's it. It takes a lot for...
Yeah, and obviously they fought dirty as well. There were so many of them against one.
Yeah.
They turned on the fucking cameras.
Yeah,
like no. So yeah, I mean, as you say, like if I knew about it, the chances would be slim. But then Grace did it, so maybe.
It's also that when like Alex comes to find her, I'm like, well, he's now got to beat everyone else to find her. Like,
yeah.
So
yeah, I'm not sure, but yeah, I think I definitely wouldn't if I didn't know about it.
Yeah, if I didn't know about it, I mean, I might have survived till morning because I don't know. The only person we see looking there is Grace. Although to be fair, because the what was it? I'm not even a maid. He just likes how I dance. Like she got in that, so she would have found me.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He just likes how I dance.
He just likes how I dance. God damn.
Yes.
Even that, people would have been tracking me and I'd have still thought we were playing and I'd be like, ooh, new hiding space. Yeah. I'd love that. If I ever go and you're like, oh, Chantelle died doing what? Playing hide and seek, you'd be like, not surprised.
Not surprised. I would not be surprised.
Well, on that lovely note.
Thanks
for joining us for a Ready or Not episode. Join us next week for another scary film. Watch along and follow along on all our socials so you can see what we're watching. But yes, and join us next time. Follow us on the socials. Subscribe, like, give us all the love because we need the ego boost. And until then, bye.
Bye-bye.
Don't
die.
Don't play hide and seek.
Yeah, otherwise the Domas family will fuck you up.
Fuck you up.